Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. It's me once again screaming into the void of the internet. I got something I want to talk about as usual, considering I'm making, a freaking video right now. But it's mainly that people don't really want to hear truth, I make these videos to, de-stress and to, talk about what's on my mind, talk about what irritates me and bothers me. But, the more I think about it, the more I always come to the conclusion that no matter what you say, these cocksuckers don't want truth. They don't want to hear truth, especially because it's like, when someone's willing to call it out, they try and tell you, oh, don't bring politics into this. Oh, don't talk about this group. Don't talk about those people. Don't generalize. Man, F that crap. How much of a cocksucker do you have to be to just be so chicken crap to where you know who's effing it up? But because you're too much of a pussy to say anything, you don't want to be politically correct or politically incorrect. You want to sit around here and go, oh, you can't say that about the group. Don't talk about my precious widow group. They're effing up everything. From, the smallest things to the larger things. Even without things where it's your life is at risk right now. And it is at risk, Perhaps indirectly or directly, depending on, if you're in a freaking hellhole like Chicago or something. If it's just you in entertainment, people want to say, oh, don't talk about how this film is made by people that don't like the fans. I didn't like the movie either, but don't say that it's made by wokies. That's not fair. Why? Why is it not fair to call out these freaking insane cocksuckers that ruin your freaking entertainment? Because they're freaking checking a list off. They have to check the list off before they're okay with something, Before they're okay with something, there's a list that needs to be checked, right? It's... And that's just entertainment. Then you could talk about, more important stuff, your life and how your life's at threat. Oh, we can't help you guys, We don't have any money for you, and yet they've spent billions of dollars on people that shouldn't be here. And then you've got these people going around here, struggle snuggling you, illegals. And if you fight back, and like I said, hellholes like Chicago, then you're in trouble. Then you got instances where these bastards are going around eating your freaking pets. Oh, that's not true. Don't say that about those people. I don't need to, cocksucker. You hear this thing called Ring? You hear this thing called CCTV footage? Where you can literally watch bastards walk down the street with freaking cats in their arms. Blood coming off the cat. Yeah. These are your freaking people and stuff like that. And these are the people who are effing up your, they're effing up your society, but people are too chicken crap to say anything about it. Why are people under the impression that someone has to like you? That you have to be loved by people? It makes no sense. These people, listen, even if these people seem kind to you, they wouldn't do anything for you if you needed them. Idiots are so obsessed with having everyone love them and just approve of them. But then when you really test them on something, if you needed them for something, they wouldn't be there for you. But for some reason, these same idiots will sit around here and do everything that they can to have these people's approval. Going so far as to literally, fund their own demise. And, what really gets to me is that even the freaking people that say, that they have a problem with this, when you then tell them who the problem is, they want to say, oh, that's not fair. You can't... No, it is fair. I'm sick of pretending like you're not allowed to, feel a certain type of way about people that are objectively ruining your life. Could you imagine if freaking animals were as much of a pansy as these pussies these days? Could you imagine that? Oh, I know that lion's eating my kids, but, we shouldn't generalize about lions, guys. Not all lions are gonna attack us. They'd rather attack those gazelles over there. We're water buffalo. We're fine. We really shouldn't stereotype all of the lions. These guys are such pansies. It's so irritating to look at this stuff. Because you're seeing it in real time. You see the people who ruin everything that you enjoy. Because there's a whole bunch about the world that none of us really enjoy. But then the few things that we do enjoy, These cocksuckers ruin it. And instead of you actually saying, no, we don't like that, and being willing to call it out in spite of what people may judge of you as a result, you then allow that to throw you off and go, oh, I shouldn't say a word. I need to be politically correct and stuff like that. And I don't know if you can hear that, but that's a whole other reason why I want to leave this freaking neighborhood. That's all I hear, just gunshots, cops going by. I freaking hate this neighborhood, but I'm just continuing on. Like, it's hilarious to me that people want to sit around here and act like they care about this stuff, and they're never willing to call out the problems, no matter what it is. No matter what it is, you know? We have an abundance of issues right now. And I know that we've always had an abundance of issues. But I feel personally that it is worse now. Because these cocksuckers have a moral compass, you know? They have a moral compass. You see the behaviors that will lead to ruin, and instead of you calling it out, instead of you rebuking it, you want to just, no. We shouldn't say anything. And maybe it's because, like I say often, it's because these cocksuckers are envious of it. Don't call out bad cops. Not all cops are like that. There's good cops, but what are the good cops doing? Are they calling out the bad cops? No. Oh my God, that guy snuggled a little girl. Cut his dick off. Meanwhile, female teachers molesting little boys and little girls. Oh, she's sexy. Where was she when I was in school? People do not care about doing the right thing. They don't care about doing what is required to keep degeneracy and filth out of their freaking society. And the people that call it out are the ones seen as crazy and stuff like that. You know? No, just leave the politics out of it. You shouldn't get political or something. It's not about being political. You don't need to be a freaking Democrat to hate a conservative. You don't need to be a Republican to hate a demon rat. They're all against you, but you gotta at least acknowledge, hey, listen, there is, objectively speaking, one side that is effing your crap up way more than the other. That doesn't mean that everything's gonna be solved if, like, you know, one side gets in freaking power. Not at all, but when you've got one side that's literally, in the short span of time, and they've been in control, completely effed crap up, like, listen, these cocksuckers just don't acknowledge reality. They don't care. They want more degeneracy. They want to live in a world that's going to just partake in their delusion. And it's really irritating to hear that. It's really irritating to see that. Because it's one thing if you want to be a delusional cocksucker, and you got a small group of people that want to be delusional cocksuckers. But when you're trying to force everybody through the law and the court of public opinion to participate in that nonsense, that's where crap goes haywire. The fact that you have to worry about offending people in the freaking military of all things. The military? You know, you wonder about how your society got like this. And I'm just going to be real, like I said, you know. It's because people are too pussified. They've got so much soy and estrogen up in them, and they refuse to acknowledge the people that are actually effing up your society. They refuse to do anything about the problems. And of course, they could try and, you know, rebuke me. Oh, well, what are you doing? If you really believe that you're supposed to do this, then shouldn't you be taking action? You know? And I'll go ahead and be completely real. I'm at least happy that, you know, Florida actually lets me handle business, because, tell you what, that crap that they're doing in, like, places like Chicago, you can't do that here, partner. We could just go ahead and give you the 2 behind the ear special, and that's that. We don't freaking go to jail around here. But in places where, you know, you've got these freaking wokies in complete authoritarian control, I don't know how the heck you're still there. If you're in New York or Chicago or whatever, like, I don't know how you're there, man. God rest your soul if you're in Canada, because I'm just looking at that, and that crap's insane, dude. Holy cow. Canada's completely rolled. But at the same time, again, no one's willing to freaking call it out. And this is why I say, hey, listen, man, I don't care what people say about America. I'm at least happy that America has has firearms. That's all I'm gonna say. Because in these other places where like crap is completely getting out of hand, there is no hope. There is no hope. You know? There's nothing that you could do. Because if the state wants to do something crazy, you can't do nothing. You have no way to retaliate. And no matter how much people want to believe that that will never happen, you know, it's funny to me because, like, in real time, just 4 years ago, 2020, everybody's favorite year, and funnily enough, 2020 was actually my favorite year for real. Not because of the chaos, but because I saw it for myself. Because when you look at history and you wonder about how people could be so brainwashed into, like, believing stuff, look at how easily brainwashed they were. It is still fresh in my mind that there were jackarses in a car completely masked up and gloved up over a freaking virus that was essentially a flu. I still remember some of these articles. That cunt Fauci. Oh, bite your food and then put your mask on while you chew. It helps prevent the COVIDs. Oh yeah, in real time. Oh, try putting on 2 masks. Yeah, you guys remember? If you really want to wonder about how that happened, listen, you don't got to go that far down. That feels like it was just yesterday, to be honest. It really does. It really does. People are so willing to just go along with authority, even if that authority is stupid. But it's funny when that authority is a bit more, I want to say moral, that's when they want to push back on it. You know, they'll act like, oh, like it was moral for them to, like, do that. But realistically speaking, it's because, like, it was under the illusion of, like, you know, intellectualism and science, you know? Even though those bastards essentially said that, hey, we patented the vaccines because we wanted to make money. Because, yeah, we can trust modern medicine. Medicine isn't really just another industry and whatnot, right? They're there to help people. Which is why they refuse to help people all the time when they don't have enough money, right? Interesting. But no matter how much you talk, at the end of the day, these people don't really care, you know? They don't really care about fixing issues and stuff like that. And, you know, you don't have to. But I just find it very interesting how quick they are to tell you, if you do care about this stuff, that you're just wasting your time, you shouldn't care, you shouldn't call out the people that you know objectively are ruining your stuff. Just let it happen. No. Maybe you're too much of a pansy and you're willing to just go along with stuff. But no, I'm not. I'm not. And this isn't necessarily, like, you know, directed at anyone personally. This is just me speaking from the heart, okay? No, if you're too much of a chicken crap to say anything, I'm more than willing to say something, you know? I'm not going to just pretend to be okay. But what the heck's happening? I could give a hot turd about someone's opinion of me who wouldn't piss in my mouth if my tongue was on fire. Like, I could really care less. If someone is ruining something that I care about, be it on a small level, like entertainment, on a larger level, like the economy, on a personal level, like the safety of myself or my family, I have a right to call it out and to take action, if need be. But because people have been so pussified, the thought of taking action, the thought of conflict, for them, which is literally unavoidable if you're going to walk this freaking earth. I don't know what world that they're in, but conflict is unavoidable. At some point, you're going to be at odds with someone or something. But they're just like, oh, just don't be confrontational. Don't have conflict with anyone. Meanwhile, that bastard behind the keyboard, he's saying all kinds of stuff. Right? It's such a funny world that you live in, you know? You see this stuff, you call it out, and people want to act like, oh, it's not a problem. You shouldn't say anything. You should just let all of the nonsense around you perpetuate. You shouldn't feel some type of way about it. I'm just not that. I'm not. Listen, I'm not that complacent. Okay, no. I'm not. I'm not complacent with what's happening. And like I said before, and I'll say it again, you have a right to be mad about this stuff. You have a right to be angry. And personally, I also think, especially in like some of these instances where I'm seeing about these people's like friggin' animals and their families getting impacted by this stuff, freaking daughters and sons getting struggle-stunk by this stuff. Hey man, it couldn't be mine. You got a right to take action. The law's not gonna do nothing. You do something. F that. You really could see just how effective society has been in pussifying people. Because here's a very common thing. People like to tell you, don't give up. No matter what, don't give up. And if you ask me, I think that's bullcrap. Because there's plenty of instances where you should give up. Give up doesn't necessarily mean you throw in a towel and do nothing in it. Just accept everything. Give up means you give up trusting something. And this is what I'm mainly talking about, give up in this context, right? Trusting something that you know does not freaking work. If I'm in a freaking country or state, right, where they are allowing freaking criminals to just go in the freaking prison and just come out the next day, you think I'm gonna give a rat's arse about what the law says if one of my family members got impacted by something? You're out of your mind. You're smoking crack. I'd be done with the law, and whatever I'm gonna do, is what it is. But if you say something like that, that's considered, you know, like, oh my gosh, you're the criminal there. You're the murderer, not the cocksucker that initiated the conflict. You are, for defending yourself. This is the clown world that you're in. But again, if you call out the problems, oh no, how could you do that? That's politically incorrect. Don't generalize them. The F you mean don't generalize them? What the heck are you smoking? So if you're in a neighborhood that has a 50% murder rate, you shouldn't generalize the likelihood that it's a 50-50 chance if you walk in that neighborhood that you walk back out. These people are completely illogical because they're so obsessed with feelings. People must approve of me. It's insane. I really do not know how they freaking grew up. You know, I really don't know how they grew up. It's probably a single mom home and stuff like that. But even then, it's like, just looking at bullies and stuff like that in school, like, there's no way that, like, they weren't aware that no one was gonna, like, approve of them all the time. Like, I refuse to believe that someone could be that cocky. There's just no way. But then again, you know, like, maybe they went to college. Every time you turn around, someone goes to college. Sometimes they're good all the way up until they get to college, and then they just get completely brain rotted in college. Like, listen, people talk about brain rot content on the internet where it's like just some memes and stuff like that, but if anything's brain rot, it has to be college at this point, because you see before and after college and they're just tatted up, wokeified, fat. Holy cow. It's just insane. It's freaking insane. It's insane. But you know what? It's to be expected. It's to be expected, because that's what kind of world you're in, right? And you're, again, the bad guy for calling it out. The bad guy for not being complacent with it. I don't really give a rat's arse about someone approving of me or how I see the world. It's my freaking view. You see the world in your view. We could have the exact same life, the exact same experiences, but because our brains are different and how we respond to our environment is different, we can still have a very different worldview. I don't care about people accepting my worldview. Nor should you care about someone accepting yours. Stand by what you're going to stand by. You've got your reasons for it. I try not to be completely closed-minded, but there are certain things, I know why crap is the way that it is, and I'm fine calling it out. And you could get pissed about it, but when you get pissed about it, and I'm saying something about a problem that is a definitive problem, and you don't like the fact that I call it out, then I know where you stand. If you're one of these cocksuckers, for example, that says, oh, rape is bad, meanwhile you defend freaking female teachers molesting students, I know where you stand, cocksucker. I don't need to change my worldview. I know where you stand. You're a gynocentric cocksucker. It is what it is. That's the truth. How the fuck is he getting out? It's so irritating to look at all of these problems and just know that there aren't many people who actually want to do anything. It really is. I'm so over I'm just over trying to, like, convince people of anything. Because the truth of the matter is this, right? You can't convince anyone of anything. You know? If someone wants to be a jackass and believe what they're going to believe, they're going to do it. You can tell them everything about why they shouldn't feel that way, but they'll feel that way. And you know what? Again, whatever. At this point, let them believe whatever the heck they want to believe. Because, quite frankly, at this point, you can't convince anyone. And you should just acknowledge that that person is just someone that you can't trust with anything. Because there are situations right now where it is not some kind of milk and toast issue. Some kind of like, oh, I'm going to be a fence sitter about this. If they stand... How should I word this? If they show me where they stand on certain things that you know are a right and a wrong issue. I don't care how much you want to believe that there isn't a right and a wrong. Yes, gray exists. But there is definitive right and wrong as well. Don't get it twisted. And they show you where they stand on that freaking issue. Just acknowledge, hey, listen, that's my enemy. Don't give a rat's arse. Oh, Thorfinn, you have no enemies. F that. You got enemies, cocksucker. You do. No matter how much you want to buy into altruism and think that everyone can be your friend, that is not the case. There are people that have to go. They have to. And if they stay, they cannot be in any position of power. Because when they are, they freaking ruin everything. They ruin everything, and then they make you clean it up so that they can ruin it again. It's irritating. It's one big freaking clown world loop. I'm so over it, man. It's so stupid how people are just unwilling to call this crap out. It really is, man. But I'm just gonna go ahead and leave it there because it's just one of my sessions where I'm just talking and venting. You know, maybe someone's listening, maybe someone's not, but it is what it is. Hope you guys enjoyed. God bless. I'll see you next time.